Good afternoon, folks. It's time for some more Unreal Engine development, and today we are going to bring some widgets in line with each other, so all of these things are basically looking the same. With that in mind, hi Sire Loris, how you doing, mate? So with this in mind, this is what I came up with last night. Okay, let me get this into view for you guys, and the intention here is basically to bring all our widgets in line with this, right? So we removed some borders and stuff. We added some canvas panels, and we just basically want to bring everything in line. So in the first instance, let's have a look at how it looks in the game. We also need to switch some stuff off and on depending on if a menu is open or not. Like, right, so this is the one for the warehouse, okay? So let's have a look at that. And you can see that that's looking nice. We get the blur, but here's what I need to switch off. I need to switch off this, and I need to switch off these buttons here, okay? While we are, well, maybe we don't need to do that, but the main thing here is to switch this off and to bring all the other menus in line. Right, so the first thing here we need to actually do is when we close, we need to set the UI back. Okay. So we shall do that just now. We can always bring this in if we want the main menu. I think we can do that actually. If we do get main menu, and we should really now be rolling this out onto basically all our things, and the easiest way to actually do this would be to delete this and plug this in here. Right, so that's a good start to today. So let's have a look at one of our other menus, or let's have a look at how this actually should look. Okay, now we are going to need a building to do this, so I'm going to put a building there, and then what we'll do is we'll do some probes and fly our probes out. And these are going to be just for show just now, but they are going to do something. And that's looking okay. Right, so the point here was that if we click on this, you'll notice that it looks kind of flat. And if we do it on the minor, similar. So this is actually in our building details, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to stop it, and we're going to bring that down, and then in the game, I'm pretty sure this is where building details is, and here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add that to here, right? Then we're going to delete our border, now we may need to reference where we are, so let's then what we need to do is wrap this with a canvas panel. Then this canvas panel is going to be there. This vertical box is going to be like so, right? So that brings us back. This background blur and what we're going to do again is wrap this in another canvas panel. Okay, and with that in mind, this canvas panel is going to have an offset left and right. So if we look at our second canvas panel, it's on the inside, that's on the outside. So this one here I'm amazed at that one, but this one, so our background blur shouldn't actually be in there. Our background blur should be in here, but it should be right there. Right? And this canvas panel should be offset. And it's basically 300. If we want it to be exactly the same size, it's 300, 300, and then 200 on the top and the bottom. Okay. Then this canvas panel should be filled now. Is that canvas panel in there? Now I don't know why this would be like this. It's a bit bizarre. Actually, you know what? Right, this isn't as easy as it first appears. Got the vertical box, and this should fill this. Okay. And that is that canvas panel, and this canvas panel should be 0, 0. I can only imagine that these have got some sort of padding on them, so we'll work with that. That's not got any. So what we'll do is we'll wrap this with a canvas panel. And this canvas panel should go here. Then this canvas panel should go away. I don't really understand why this canvas panel here it shouldn't do that. If we do it in the center there, that's not right. Right, so it should be here. Right, it simply should be there. But I don't understand why it's board the button check. Right, so it's in panels, I believe. So I tell you what we'll do is we'll copy that. Then we'll delete that. No, we don't really want to delete them. If we go back to here, this canvas panel, it's because that canvas panel is inside the background blur. Right, okay. So this basically goes to there. And then this goes in here. Better. And it's very hot. So what we need to do now is that's okay. And now this has to get bigger. Okay. And the next thing we need to do is put in the image, and the image I believe goes in here. And we shall call it IMG background. Okay, and what it's going to be is selector, and it's going to be our nice bluey color. And it's going to be full screen, 0, 0. Okay. And then this vertical box is going to have a bit of padding on it. And we need it a bit more actually, do we? Yep. That's a bit better. Let's see how that's going. That looks okay. And now we need it on the bottom as well. Now we did do something slightly different on the bottom here. What I'm going to do is this horizontal box here is going to get moved up, but in actual fact this horizontal box here is going to have to go up a bit. So this has to go 75 to something like there. Right, so that's looking okay so far. Let me just get a little drink. We're going to change this. Right, so this should equal kind of that colour there. In fact, no, it shouldn't. Let's completely change that. Right. Let's change it to here. That's better. Right. So the next point of call is this box here, and we're going to have to pad this a bit as well. And that should do us. And finally, we've got to bring in a text box. Right. And let's say this is refiner. Then we are going to change the font to, I think it's this one. Is it that one? Or is it another one? Not 100% sure on that. It's Futura Book So it is that. If you to the book, and we want a font size of 40. Font size 40. Okay. Now, actually, you know what I should have done? Right, what we'll do, right, is we'll delete this. We'll just go to the warehouse, we'll get our text box, and we shall copy it, then go in here, select this, and then paste it, and there we go. Right? And then all we should need to do is put it into position. Which is going to be like there. Okay? And if we save that and we press play, continue, we do our proby thing, then we build a refiner, then these should start to look a bit better. Or more in line, shall we say. Yeah, that's beginning to look good. Now, there's a strange thing, because that's kind of how we want it to work, but it wasn't doing that with warehouse. Now, I'm guessing that's because we've got something set up to be non-hit testable, like in our canvas. Right? But yeah, there we go. That's beginning to look a bit better. Now, the thing that we're going to do here is, in the graph, now we are only ever coming down here because we changed the code last night, and we do have the built-in type, right? So what we can do here is we can say, drag that in, and then if we go back to our designer and we get our building name, right, we can drag that in, we can get that, and we can set text. Okay. And when we do that, we can get our building type, and it's going to change it to text to string. Is that the right one actually? Yep, this one. Yeah, that's exactly what we did before. Right, get rid of that so that we're getting a bit more. Okay, so we can save that and have a look at it and see how it's going. Right, so we do a probe again. Could do our refinery. Right, and there we've got refiner. It's looking good. And miner. And that's actually looking pretty darn good. That has worked very, very well, I would say. So we shall build that, and we shall build that. Right. So our warehouse is looking good. And we've got a smelter. So we could actually remove this. Fabricator. Yep, I'm liking that, guys. I'm liking that. What do you guys think of that? I shall be back in a moment, guys. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so to carry on with this, it's going well. That's looking good. This bit isn't, but we shall worry about that later. So we'll cancel that for now. We'll stop that. And now we have our inventory to do and our trading. So what we'll do is we'll look at the inventory window first, which is this one here. And basically what we'll do is exactly the same thing. So we'll get this and we shall wrap it with a board background blur. I believe the background blur, and this is the right size, so that's okay. And the background blur was 5, I believe, in the other ones. Then we've got our border here which we want to remove, so we can do that and we can delete the border. And then finally what we do is we wrap that with a canvas panel. And then our vertical box becomes that and that. Now we can do our thing here, but our vertical box, well, let's put it this way, in here we add an image, and this is going to be our background image. So image background, okay, and it's going to be filling everything. So we'll zero that and we'll zero that. Then we shall change this to our selector. Okay, then we shall give it our blue tint and okay that, and we can move it there. And now our vertical box gets a little padding. It might be 30. Might be 35. Yep, that should do us. And we'll give it a 35 there. And then 50. 50 might not be enough. Might have to be 70. Yep. And then on the bottom, we'll give it a 70. And kinda there we go. Okay, so we'll save that we'll go back to here, right, and then we'll check out where we are. We shall copy that again. We shall go to here and I believe we paste it here. Yes, we do, but we do need to move it a bit. And we need to move it to there, and it's not going to be warehouse. It's going to be is it going to be the crafting? Or is it going to be inventory? It is basically your inventory. Right, so we shall move it down a bit to there. Okay. And we'll copy that and we'll paste it in there. Okay, so if we save that, we can move this to the right. This button. Then we can have some padding to the right of it. Let's see. $25. Okay. So that's looking good so far. Hey Shreyash, thank you. I was going to say for the kind words, but it's the kind emojis, I imagine. Right. So basically, what we need to do now, well, we can have a look, right? We've now sort of standardized all of our widgets. Okay, so now I still love watching the drones flying about. So we have our refiner looking good, everything's looking good there. We can close that. Miner looking good, everything looking good there. Then we can hit our inventory, looking good there. Right. And the last one we've got to do is our supply trading with the ship. Okay, so let's have a look to see how that actually looks when we do it, because I'm not too sure about this one at all, but we'll try it and see how it looks. Right, so we've got trading and it's trading main. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So the first thing here would be to wrap this in a blur like we did. In fact, right, we're not 100% sure this one's going to work like this. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this, right? So that we've got a copy of that, we can just rename it back to what it was. So let's play with this one. So we'll wrap this with a background blur, right? Then we'll get this and we'll wrap that with a canvas panel. Bear with me guys, it's going to work in the end. Right, the background blur is going to get turned to 5. And then all these borders are going to have to go. Well, actually, no, they don't. That border doesn't need to go, but we need to basically change this to 0. Right, now this might end up throwing all our colours out. In fact, this may throw everything out. Right, so that's that one. We had this one. Let's turn that back to black for now, right? I'm going to try something else. It's not going to work, I don't think. It's not going to work. Well, it might. Right, so in here we're going to add our image background again. Right, so we'll rename it to image background. And then we'll go to selector, and it's going to be our lovely blue color. So we'll OK that. Now our CP trading or yeah, this one might actually be, let me just try this, okay guys? So we're gonna offset it by 120. Okay, let's put that back. Right, because what we actually need here is this is another canvas panel. And then we've got this VB list. Then border. So what I want to do is, so that is the full size. So if I do that, and do that, and do that, there we go. Right? But what I want to do here is, I do want to offset it. Or, no I don't. What we want to do is, we want to offset this half as much. And then half as much there. And then what we want to do is we want to offset this 75 and 75. And this should end up giving us our image. Right, so our image anchor should be full with that at 0 and 0. Okay. And this canvas panel should not be that size, or rather it should be wider. So if we go 800, right, but this canvas panel, or at least this one, no, in this case now we want this one to be offset left and right as well, so we want probably about 50, and then 50 on this side. And then the offset on the bottom is probably going to have to be maybe not 100, but it's going to be close to it, I think. Okay, it's going to be 100. Okay. And then this is going to be 100. And we're practically at the point now where this canvas panel Right, we didn't want to do that. We're probably at the point now where this should be at 0.5. Or, hang on a second. And this should be 0.5. 0.5. Right? And probably what we could do here is actually make this a bit wider. So if we made that 1,000, right, and we could basically take this away. And if we took that away, then we could put the resupply ship down here, just like we do in the other ones. So I'll tell you what we'll do, right? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go back, we'll save that for now, right? We'll go back to here, we'll get our button, we'll copy that, we'll go back to there, then in here, we'll do a paste, right? And that gives us an inventory, right? And then we shall basically move it to here, except this is going to be supply ship. Okay. Then we're gonna have to move it again. And basically move it to there. Is that in the same way as those other ones? Yeah. So that's an okay. But this trading, the offset left, we'll move that to 75. I'll put that at 75. Right, and this border, we'll set that to 0. Right, we do need to move this again. Don't know what we did there, but this needs to go like there. Yep, we'll take that and the question now is kinda, we've got a border again, so we can set that back to 0. We've got all these borders, all these are wrapped with borders. So what we'll do is we shall copy that and paste it here, and paste it here, and paste that, and paste that. It's that one. So if we try this, well, let's see how it looks. I think that works, guys. Do you think that works? Are you guys liking that, or? I'm kinda liking that. I'm indeed kinda liking that. Okay. So on that note, guys, it's time for a cigarette. Stick around, I won't be long, I'll be about 2 minutes, and we shall be right back. Okay guys, we're back. And I think we're happy with that actually. So let's take a look at that again. Yep, that's looking decent. We could actually take the borders off of these if we wanted. We've got our inventory looking nice and sharp. Okay, then we have our buildings. If we plonk down a building, okay, so we'll have a look at these just to make sure these are nice and everything is consistent. That was the word I was looking for. I think those are waiting for 10 seconds, so I need to fix that up. Right, so we can take a look at this. We've got refiner, that's all looking good. So we can close that, we can open our miner, it's looking good, and close that, and yeah, we can have a look in our warehouse, looking good, excellent. So, in effect, that is working well. The only thing we need to do now is decide on how we are going to do our images. Okay, so without doing that, what we'll do is we'll go into inventory. Now that is all well and good, except for one thing. Do we make these blue when we're doing a widget? Or alternatively, let's do this. Right, if we go into our inventory, minimize that for now, then we've got inventory item. Okay, now let's look at the graph. Let's look at the event graph. So this must be being, the hover over must be being controlled by something else, like the border or something, but it's not a border. And is it a button? It doesn't seem to be a button. Right, how did I do this is the question. Right, so we're not doing it in there. Right, and that is mouse down, which means that you're going to spawn a temporary building. Right. So the question is, how are we changing the background on the mouse over? Right. That's the question here. So it's not on that. We're not doing it there. I believe it's on here. Is it? No. Right. I think what we're going to have to do here is have a look at it again to see how it actually behaves, to work out what it's actually doing. So it's on the image. You see how it doesn't do it on the copper wire, but it does it on the image? So it must be on the image. So we're going to have to stop it. Find references. But we're not doing it on the image. Right, I'm confused at how I've done this myself, to be honest. Right, so I wonder. We don't have any code in there. So I'm a little confused with myself, to be honest. The only thing I can think of is if we go to inventory main, and we go to GP crafting, if we go to the graph, right, so we don't do anything there per se. And we're not doing anything there. So this must be automatic. Right, which means it isn't in there, it's in the inventory item. Right, so that's doing create inventory item. Yep, that's fine. So in the inventory item, it's doing the mouse over thing. Okay. Right, so I think we're going to leave that for now and see if any of the others do a similar thing. So like, for example, well, to be fair, none of the others actually do anything if you click on them. So they shouldn't change at all. So like, these don't change, but these do. Okay. So that in fact is a bit weird. So for some reason this image definitely does do something. I'm confused with this one. And it is drawing it as white. So, yeah. Right, I think I might know what it is. Color and opacity is white. Okay, so if I stop this, and if I say color and opacity goes to blue, okay that, save that. Ah, these are blue. That's why I'm an idiot. I'm looking at the wrong thing. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the inventory item. I shouldn't be looking at the inventory item. I should be looking at the crafting item, which does have a button. Hey, Tryhard Studio. Hello to you, sir. Hey, Rohit, nice to see you, mate. So we're doing this, right? And on the hovered, we've got nothing. Don't know why that is. Oh, yeah, I do know why that is. So we have the tint equals that. Right, and what we'll do here is we'll turn tint to blue. Oh, you're making a game too? You're making it in Unreal Engine, and what is it? Tell us all about it. And tell us how you're getting on. So, right, I think that's okay. If we make the black background, that's okay. Right? And what we'll do is, this border here is a kind of black, right? And what we'll do is we'll make it a blue, but in fact I made that see-through. Ah, that sounds interesting, mate. Wouldn't mind seeing what you're up to. If you check the description, you'll see a link to my Discord. We can chat later if you wish. So, let's have a look. Right, so it's got this light grey background, right? Now, do we want that? That is the question. And this is the border outside, which is this grey colour, right? So, as I said, what we could do is make it that blue colour, but then, like, make it quite see-through, right? And yeah, that's I would disagree on that one, mate. I would say it actually needs less transparency. I might need to turn the blur up a bit on this. Right, but I'm kinda... Let's put it all the way... Let's put this to 0.6. We might need to make it brighter as well, because the opacity seems to... Well, obviously it would, but... Right, so that really didn't do an awful lot, to be honest. Okay, so let's just make it 1. And what's with that colour? Yeah, maybe that was the issue. Right, we'll stop and save that. Right, so I would need to make the text black in this instance, or go for more opacity, 0.3. Stop that, save it, and check it out. See you later, mate. Nice to you pop in. I look forward to having a look at your work you've done. Right, so what I really want here probably is even more opacity so that it's barely even visible, but it kind of gives the impression it's there. Yeah, kind of like that. Maybe not even that. Maybe even less than that. Like 0.1. And actually, I think I could do with wrapping this in a canvas panel. And then basically doing that. Well, wait a minute. This border. Or at least this. Yeah. That's not going to work. So we shall undo that. I'm just thinking here, if we actually, it has got padding. So 5, 5, 5. What I'm trying to do is get these to separate out slightly, even though it's not critical. And yeah, I could live with that. So basically, if we go to here, go to border. It's not that one, it's this one, isn't it? Copy that, then stop that, go to inventory item, go to this border, and then paste this, save that. Then yeah, we're liking that. but then again we would need to change the color of the text. Let me try something. If I make this 0, 0, 0 and make it 0.1, what do we get? What does that give us? Not a lot. Okay. So if we make it 0.2, save that, press play. Close that. Go for it again. Go 0.3. Maybe a tiny bit more. 0.35. If we go at 0.35, what we're going to look like here? Yeah, I think I could live with that. So if we close that, then in fact what we'll do is we'll copy this and we'll go to our crafting item and paste it in there. Then I think this is going to work for us. Yep, we like that. Definitely. Okay. So on that, guys, I think I'm going to finish the stream. Not too busy today, Sunday afternoon. I think everybody's having their Sunday dinner. And if you enjoyed the stream, check out the description, join Discord, join Patreon or whatever. And hit the subscribe button, and I shall catch you in 4 hours time. Bye for now.